What was once hailed as the pride of Chinese innovation has now turned into a national disaster. The electric vehicle industry, once celebrated as one of Xi Jinping's three engines of growth, is collapsing under its own weight. Across China, major EV conglomerates are declaring bankruptcy, dealerships are piled high with unsold cars, and vast electric vehicle graveyards stretch for miles, filled with abandoned dreams of green prosperity. Factories that once ran around the clock now sit in silence. Assembly lines have stopped. Thousands of workers go unpaid, while investors flee and consumers are left with cars that can no longer be repaired. What was meant to symbolize China's technological rise has instead become a portrait of excess, debt, and decay. Millions of car owners now find themselves trapped in an endless nightmare, with warranties void, repair centers closed, and the future of mobility reduced to nothing more than mountains of rusting metal under the gray skies of a slowing China. In early 2025, thousands of Neta auto owners woke up to a shocking reality. Their cars had lost all internet connection. At first, they thought it was a system update, but soon a text message arrived. Your car's network has been disconnected. Please purchase data service from your provider. Without internet access, the vehicles became nearly useless. Navigation stopped working. Remote control functions failed. Even the air conditioning couldn't be turned on through the app. The so-called smart car had become a piece of metal on wheels. One frustrated owner said, "My Neta car is completely dead. I can't lock or unlock it. I can't use navigation, and there's no signal at all." They said the company is restructuring, but no one knows what's really going on. I bought it for 130,000 yen. Now it's nothing but scrap. Another added, "At first I thought it was a temporary glitch, but after 5 days offline, I realized something was terribly wrong. They promised a lifetime warranty and free data, but now everything has disappeared." The real reason behind the blackout soon came to light. Lenovo Connected Vehicle, Neta's data service provider, confirmed that Neta Auto had failed to pay service fees for months. After repeated warnings and no payments, Lenovo cut the connection entirely. The company's promise of 3 years of free data vanished overnight, exposing how deep the crisis had become inside China's EV industry. In June 2025, Neta Auto officially entered bankruptcy proceedings, marking the end of one of China's most hyped electric car brands. At the first creditors' meeting, 1,631 creditors filed claims totaling 26 billion yuan, but only a fraction was recognized. The company's remaining assets, just 15.45 million yuan, were barely enough to cover salaries. Over 5,000 employees were left unpaid, with 460 million yuan in wage arrears. Meanwhile, owners found that official service centers had closed and spare parts were nowhere to be found. Across China, Neta showrooms have shut down one after another. More than 400,000 owners are now left without warranty, repair service, or insurance support. A car dealer in Shanghai admitted, "I regret ever selling electric cars. They save fuel, but not money. When the company collapses, all the free promises become paid. I tell my customers now, stick with gasoline cars. They're cheaper and more reliable." The so-called lifetime warranty has turned into a lifetime burden. In Zhejiang, one owner had to pay 6,000 yuan for a simple battery repair. In Beijing, another driver was trapped in his car under 40 degrees Celsius heat when the digital unlock system failed. He had to smash the window to escape. These are not isolated cases. They reflect a growing wave of despair among EV owners across China, who now find themselves unable to repair or even start their vehicles. China's new energy vehicle industry is undergoing its largest collapse in history. Over the past decade, dozens of brands, WM Motor, Neta, Hosen, Hi5, and more, have gone bankrupt one after another, leaving millions of owners stranded with cars that have no value, no warranty, and no future. Automotive expert Tong Quanye explained, "Once a car company collapses, its service system collapses too. The official repair network disappears, and independent garages rarely accept electric vehicles because the technical requirements are too high. That means owners have no bargaining power, and repair costs skyrocket. For example, Liu Shan, a Neta owner, had to pay 1,000 yuan just for a battery inspection and another 4,000 yuan for the repair. I feel like I'm being slaughtered, he said bitterly. Their lifetime warranties and free charging benefits vanished overnight. Bluetooth keys stopped working, remote controls failed, and all showrooms in Hainan province closed 2 years ago, leaving over 2,000 owners abandoned. Even insurance has become a nightmare. After restructuring, premiums doubled. Major insurers refused renewals, forcing car owners to rely on smaller, unreliable firms. One owner, Li Lin, said his premium jumped from 3,700 to 5,100 yuan, and even then, damage coverage was denied. This is not just a company's downfall, it's the collapse of an entire dream. China's electric vehicle revolution, once seen as the future of the world, has become a graveyard of bankrupt factories, unpaid workers, and broken trust. The glittering promise of green technology has been replaced by silence, frustration, and cars that can no longer move. For millions of Chinese families, the electric dream has turned into a nightmare that no one can escape. Former WM Motor technician Zhang He now runs a small repair shop that has become a lifeline for over 3,000 stranded EV owners from Hebei, Liaoning, and Shandong. Once a symbol of China's electric dream, their cars now sit broken, victims of a collapsing industry. Even luxury brands are falling. BMW, Porsche, and Mercedes-Benz showrooms have closed across China. BMW's flagship 5M store in Beijing shut down in October 2024, followed by Audi's largest showroom in Tianjin. In Guangdong, the powerful Yonggao Group saw over 80 dealerships seized as its funding chain snapped. According to the China Automobile Dealers Association, over 10,500 dealerships closed in 2023 alone, and more than 8,000 since 2020. Buyers lost deposits, cars were repossessed, and insiders warned that half of China's EV dealerships could disappear within 3 years. Even NIO, once hailed as China's Tesla, is bleeding. In Q2 2025, the company lost 4.99 billion yuan, averaging 69,000 yuan loss per car. Total losses have surpassed 130 billion yuan, with a 92% debt ratio and only enough cash to survive a year. Its stock price plunged 17%, wiping out over HKD 10 billion. The truth is, NIO's fall mirrors the illusion of China's EV boom, an industry built on subsidies, hype, and borrowed money. From January to July 2025, NIO sold 145,000 cars, barely a third of its target. On paper, China sold 6.94 million EVs in the first half of 2025, up 40%. But behind the numbers lie thin profits, heavy losses, and broken capital chains. The market is shrinking fast. BYD dominates one-third of sales, while small EV makers are going bankrupt every month. In 2024 alone, 20-30 brands vanished, including WM Motor and Hosan Auto. Experts predict more will follow, possibly even NIO. Years of subsidies fueled reckless overproduction. Companies chased output quotas instead of demand, flooding the market and sparking price wars. BYD's Dolphin Plus dropped to 80,000 yuan, Xiaomi's SU7 to 260,000 yuan, and Tesla offered zero down payments. Cheap cars sold fast, but profits vanished. By 2025, the average profit margin in China's auto industry had plunged to 4.6%, the lowest in a decade. The once powerful EV subsidy policy has ended, and most local governments are too deep in debt to keep supporting automakers. Now, as subsidies fade, prices rise while demand falls, pushing companies into deeper losses. Toyota's half-year profit is nearly double that of 16 Chinese EV brands combined, showing how fragile the domestic market has become. With domestic demand collapsing, automakers turn to exports, only to face tariffs and trade barriers. The U.S. raised tariffs on Chinese EVs from 25% to 100%, while the EU imposed anti-subsidy duties up to 38.1%. Canada, India, and Brazil soon followed, crushing China's overseas sales. Export growth plunged from 77% in 2024 to barely 10% in 2025, leaving over 1 million unsold cars parked in storage lots. Warehouses are full, cash flow is drying up, and thousands of zero-kilometer EVs are flooding the second-hand market. Beijing's new restrictions on overproduction came too late. Instead of saving the industry, they've added new compliance costs and chaos. What was once a national success story has turned into a chain reaction of bankruptcies, debt, and disillusionment. China's electric vehicle dream, once seen as the future of mobility, is now collapsing under its own weight. The glittering promise of innovation has faded, leaving behind silent factories, unpaid workers, and millions of owners who can no longer trust the road ahead. Analysts warn that China's electric vehicle industry is falling into the same overcapacity trap that has already hit its solar and lithium battery sectors. These three industries were once hailed as Xi Jinping's three new engines of economic growth. Yet all three are now facing deep crises. In 2024, 5 of China's largest solar companies quietly laid off nearly one-third of their workforce. Experts say the solar sector is struggling with severe oversupply, collapsing prices, and mounting losses. Experts warn that with all three of Xi Jinping's growth engines, electric vehicles, solar panels, and lithium batteries, now faltering, the repercussions for China's economy could be far-reaching. Michael Dunn, former General Motors Indonesia executive and now CEO of Dunn Inside, said the root cause of China's overcapacity lies in Xi's Made in China 2025 initiative. Chinese analyst Yue Shan echoed this view, describing Xi as the king of half-finished projects, and arguing that Made in China 2025 is just one of many grand ambitions that have failed to deliver.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.